insolvency code. There are a lot of expectations around insolvency code. And the way even the Reserve Bank circular of February 2018, if you look at it, so even the regulator thought NCLT is a solution. Because after a particular period, all the accounts have to necessarily go to NCLT. So the purpose of making this regulation and the thought process behind it, even the regulator thought this is a solution for the recovery. So, but then gradually I think because of the interventions and all that, I think things have changed. But then there are certain things, sir, actually, because see the way you have put it, sir, there is a overall credit system in the credit delivery system, where there is a difference between a secured and unsecured creditor, sir. Because the way we do credit, it is a risk-taking activity. Because there is a risk reward. Because when I am a secured creditor, I lend at a particular rate because the risk premium I load is much lower. Whereas an operational creditor, he knows he is unsecured, naturally his returns are higher. Suppose, for example, if I am looking at a return of 10%, operating creditor always looks at a return of 16%. Look at a small trader who gives credit to a builder, unsecured credit. He charges even 3%, that is almost 36%. Because the unsecured system, actually the risk reward is much higher because the default is built in there. Because the risk premium what we load is for the default. It is like insurance policy. Ultimately, people who are healthier, people who survive longer, they pay for the people who are dying or people who are going to hospitals, because the good people pay for bad people. So the risk reward actually in the credit system also, generally the good borrowers, they pay the risk premium so that the defaults are covered. Because I have to build a reserve so that when the default comes, actually I have sufficient coverage for that. Yes, sir.
May I add at this point? You know, what you are saying, I agree. I am not disagreement with that. It is not the question, you know, what is there? I have pointed out that it is balancing the stakeholders. Balancing the stakeholders includes them and you.
Yes.
You have given 10,000 crore or 1,000 crore, and there may be only 1 crore or 2 crore. So their amount is very less, your amount is more. You will have to accept a maximum. There is no difficulty in maximization of your whatever the amount due. There is no question. But simultaneously, to the extent they are smaller than you, you will have to give it to them. I have given one example at one place. I am giving the example for the purpose of bankers to understand. You know, the Honorable Supreme Court in Swiss Tribunal says that before NCLT, whenever the matter goes, the NCLT looks into viability and feasibility of the plan and also looks into whether operational creditors are given same treatment as of financial creditor.
I think to answer the question you just mentioned, I think what the learned justice is saying is that this balancing needed to be required. And if you're asking me, my totally personal view is that I cannot agree with you more. 2 years ago, this matter could have been resolved, and there's a high cost to money, especially when it's such a huge amount. So what did the NCLT in Ahmedabad say? I mean, I'm sure all of you know, the amount they asked you to share was not a large amount. If you do the maths now, if you had done it then, you would have been in much better shape.
Yes, sir, I am telling you the practical thing. They gave 0% in SR. Financial creditors, they took 99.19%. Operational creditors, 0. I said increase it. They said we'll give 10%. I said more increase it. They will said 20%. I said make it 30%. They said no. Then I said that a blow should be given. Now 60-60. I allowed them to agree for 30%. 30% was nothing. 500 crore out of 42,000 crore. Yes. They disagreed. Then a blow.
So that's why could have been closed at Ahmedabad.
Yes.
Then you would,
Yes.
it would have been
You
finished
see,
at the best.
therefore I said, behave.
Yeah, agree.
That behavior change and this delay.
Sir,
You
so
don't
let's-
cry because of your behavior. These litigations are lingering. If you behave in the original place, why there will be litigation?